All three of us have beaten Dishonored.
Yes.
In various and seen various versions of the ending here and there.
Yes.
So we want to talk about that because this is spoiled. The difference between the high chaos and the low chaos ending is pretty significant. Like the whole final level is basically, the layout is the same, but the things that happen are like actually pretty different.
So in my one, I walked into the whatever giant balloon. So he's just in there like hanging out at like a dining room table, and like I killed him, and that was pretty much.
The other thing that's important there is that the other two dudes, Pendleton and Martin, are also at that table. It looks like what happened is that Havelock like poisoned their drinks.
Oh. I
To,
didn't even see that.
So it was more than him just sort of standing there. It was basically him like, all right, now that we've all gotten here and I'm on top.
Hannibal Lectering.
He just like wipes out anyone who knew anything about it so he can sort of hang on to his power.
Yeah, see, in my game, Pendleton got caught in crossfire. Like he was shot by his own soldiers, I guess, on the when I was climbing to get Emily, and then the other guy killed himself in front of me. Like he had a gun up to his chin. He's like, I'm gonna kill myself so you don't get to kill me. By the time I got up there, it was just Havelock and Emily hanging out in the rain on a board, like just threatening to kill himself. So
This is totally spoiling the end for me. Thanks a lot. This show does what it says.
If you go through on high chaos as you're going through that King Sparrow Island, there's a part where Martin and Pendleton are sort of arguing with each other. Like Pendleton's sort of in this tower and they're shouting back and forth, and I think they do start like shooting at each other or something too. So it's like there's already infighting going on no matter what. And then when you get up there, instead of Havelock sort of sitting there sipping his scotch and being like, I'm not gonna fight you, Corvo, you've won. Instead, he grabs Emily and like goes and hangs off the lighthouse. He's like, I'm done, I'm gonna take her with me. That's where like the third variation of the ending comes in, is there's an Emily survives ending and an Emily does not survive ending.
You mentioned early on, Joe, and now I don't know if I'm angry at you or not, is that you kind of said like that the low chaos ending was the better ending.
Yeah.
And it really sounds like to me from your descriptions, the high chaos ending is the better ending. I mean, there's all this drama that happens at the ending.
yeah, but
Emily
can die though, which was, I don't know, that was upsetting to me seeing Emily die.
They both weighed equally because there's something I really liked about that final scene of just the sort of like resigned, like, yeah, Corvo, I mean, what do you want me to do? You want me to fight you? Like you win.
And that's kind of worth mentioning because you said you killed him.
I mean, come on, you gotta kill the guy.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm not gonna be like, you learned your lesson, even though Ezio does that. Oh, I'm not gonna. I guess that's.
Yeah, thanks a lot, spoiled
Just
guy.
one spoiled at a time.
Sorry.
We're talking about spoiled. When you come back from your mission, you know what I mean, success, right? And you're all like, like
halfway through the game when you think you've won, yeah.
And you go to those guys, and that's why I killed him at the end. Was like because like when we got there, and you get to that scene, and they hand you the glass, and they're like, here, drink up. First of all, I've been suspicious of these assholes who sit around getting drunk all day long going like, you got it. Just go ahead. Don't worry. You're going to die. I was like, I don't like you guys. I don't trust you guys. And so when we got to that point in the game and they were like, here, drink this, I was like, I don't want to drink this. Like, which button is throw it in their face? You know what I mean?
Like, behind you while they're
like, where's the nearest fern? Where you kind of like, oh, that was good. Even though you see it's coming, you're like, oh, God, it's still a good twist, right? It's still a great twist in the game. Ever since that guy gave me a bad drink, you give me a bad cocktail at a bar and I'm coming after you, right? So this was personal. So he was going to die. He was going to die, basically.
There's also brings up an interesting point there too, because as I was like going down the list of like, oh, well, Corvo, we need you to kill this guy and we need you to kill this guy. The whole time I was like, a good revenge story has you like invested in the people that you're killing. You know, it's like, I don't know these guys. I mean, I guess I saw them kill the Empress, but like I'm not as a player invested in that. So the whole time I'm like, man, I really wish that this game would like do more to get me invested in these kills. And then then at that point it's like, I'm gonna get you so bad.
It is, I think, one of the more genius games in a while. I mean, I really, really admire the game, and I had so much fun with it. Even like when I played it in the stealth mode, I would finish a level, like, because some of the levels you could kind of get in and like save the guy pretty quickly, or kill the guy, or snatch the guy, or whatever you needed to do, like fairly shallow as far as the depth in the world. And I was always like, well, yeah, the boat's over there and I can leave, but I really should go look around because I want to just know like the lay of the land for when I come back for
Go
a
get
second
some bread,
playthrough.
some canned goods.
There was a whole section in that mission in the cat house or whatever. Instead of assassinating like the 2 Pendleton brothers or whatever, I went
tortured the guy.
I went the non-lethal route for that. But then I see like one of the achievements is like kill this Pendleton brother with hot steam. It's like, oh man. I wish I didn't even see those rooms. I don't even know what that option is.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking forward to going back and seeing that stuff again.
Now, to talk a little bit more about the ending, I want to say the only thing that really, I was kind of leading to before is how much I admire and I love this game and how genius I think it is, and even more now that I didn't realize that he was like serving those guys poison, was that I actually thought the ending to me, I felt kind of missed the mark a little bit for me because I was really invested in the world. You know what I mean? Obviously, like Corvo's struggles and like the Empress's struggles, everything like mattered to me, and obviously I wanted to save the little girl, right?
Yeah.
That's I played hide and seek with her. We're friends, right? I wanted to save her. I really kind of thought it was an opportunity. Not to say that I need political statements in every single video game I play, but I thought they had an opportunity. You know what I mean? Kind of like with those things in the world to kind of explore the impact of what happened to the world. Obviously you deal with the plague and like it's just a high theme throughout the whole game. Every single pond has like deadly man-eating fish in it. Oh, you're killing all these whales, like they have all these whaling ships around. I don't know, I might shock a little people here, I'm not pro whaling. So, so like, I don't know, I just kind of felt like there was maybe an opportunity to kind of speak to the larger world. Now maybe that enables them for a sequel and some of the things like that. I guess I wanted a little bit more resolve for the world for me.
On the other hand, I'm kind of thankful that they didn't go into it too much, because that gives them more ground to cover in future and
hopeful sequels.
Yes, I hope there's more. I hope there's more in this world. I want to see more of that. Ooh, there's another big thing you missed in the low. Or no, you didn't.
This show's killing me.
No, you got the low chaos where they imply that, or I mean, no, they don't imply. They tell you that like Emily isn't even just some little girl that you played hide and seek with.
Yeah.
Like, Emily's your daughter, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I feel like I should have seen it coming, but I didn't.
Well, some of that stuff is in the reading material that you find around. Like there's one area where you find the mother's room. She had like a secret room, and there's actually like a letter that she wrote to Corvo that was kind of romantic.
I beat the game low chaos, and then I found that as I was trying to get to high chaos.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh well, if I would have found this, I would have known.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that fiction that you're saying that you wish had sort of been expanded, I think a lot of that is in the text that you find, which I really wanted to read and I liked reading, but after about the second or third level, I really didn't read the full books. Like I would read some of the letters and stuff, but like the books kind of got a little bit much to read through every single one that you
See, I kind of took it the other way. Every time I read one of those, I was like, well, now I want to know more about this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I kind of took it the other way. And there were some that we were like, this is an excerpt from a book. Some of the excerpts from the book, I definitely went like, I was more interested in ones that were kind of like,
interpersonal.
Or newspaper, just more like kind of like alerting to what's going on at the times. But, even then, if we talk about leaving the world out, I mean, there's this guy who's like a voodoo priest. I mean, what is the like outsider guy? You know what I mean?
I don't know how I felt about him. He wasn't expanded very much. He was just like this voice that would kind of show up, and he wasn't good or bad. So there, you didn't know what side he was on. He's just there to talk to you every few hours. It was kind of strange.
Kind of like the FBI agent in F, like to some degree, you know what I mean?
Like,
And the other thing that's interesting about that is that like you go up against other people who he's supporting, like the assassin Dowd. Like has the mark of the outsider.
Like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, he's like the outsider's like playing his pawns against each other.
Exactly, and also there's like a lot of questions, right? There's definitely a lot of questions, and like, but I thought when I got to the end, like I'd kill those guys, and I don't know if I'm like just like making twist upon twist, but I thought then at some point it would be maybe in that classic like video like Final Fantasy kind of sense, like he's been my pawn the whole time, you know what I mean? And like he would kind of step from behind the curtain and say, hey, I'm here to kill you now, and like you maybe had to beat the guy who was giving you powers at the end. I mean, obviously that's very video gamey, but you can't help but ignore some of the video game rules that come along the way.
Yeah, I would think that a conflict with the outsider is not off the table for
future
for it at some point.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dishonored, good times.
Good times.
Yeah, good times.
Not for the people in the game, but for us. Like not for the characters. That was terrible. They have terrible lives.
Oh yeah. It's a grim world.